Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. Today I'm making a hidden message card. So this is the card, and if you push it together and grab the middle and open it, there's a hidden message inside here. Then if you pull it out again, it goes back to the original message. It's been a long time since I made this type of card. In fact, it was way back in July 2009. If you want to see the original, then I'll put a link in the show more section below this video, and you can read more about it over on my blog. So we're going to be using the Party Puffin stamp set and a fish and a wish. So something old and something new. The Fish Builder Punch. The inks I'm using are Tuxedo Black Memento ink, Orchid Oasis, the Real Red blends, and the Mango Melody blend. I'm also going to be using the Grey Granite ink for the fish and Smoky Slate stamping blends and a Winkle for Stella. And the Stamparatus. We also need the Stylish Shapes dies, the largest square. You need 2 in Orchid Oasis, and the next to largest you need to cut 2 in Basic White. The card base is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4, so you score the long side at 4 1/8 and fold it in half. In metric that will be 14.5 by 21 centimeters. On the long side you score at 10.5. So now that's your middle line. You want to bring the cardstock into the middle like so, and then crease it so that you don't have any gaps there. Okay, next you want to bring in the trimmer with the short side on top. You want to align the left edge at 1 7/8 inches, and you want to cut from this score line down to this score line here. Alright, so line that edge there, make an indentation and slide it to this line here. Turn your cardstock 180 degrees so that the uncut side is at the left, and you align that 1 7/8 again and cut from the first score line down to the third score line. This is the 2022 to 2024 in colour DSP. So you want 2-inch strips of 2 by 6. You weave one piece over, under, over, okay, and then the other one you do in the opposite directions, under, over and under. And I trimmed it off to 5 3/4 inches, so it's 2 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Then you have 2 pieces in Basic White for the front panels of the gatefold, and both these measure 1 7/8 by 5 1/2, and in metric that's 4.8 by 14 centimeters. So on these squares you need to cut it so that it's 1/8 of an inch smaller. So that's 2 inches, so it's 1 7/8 inches by 1 3/4. 1 7/8 by 1 3/4. Now I'm going to temporarily put these pieces here because they are all different sizes, these squares, and you have to cut them accordingly. I'm not sure this one will fit this one. I think it's too wide. Try this. Yeah, I'll need one more. Let's put some glue on this so that it has a chance to dry, and then it will become repositionable. And I have to measure this side to see how much that is. That's 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. That's 1 7/8 as well. So the squares on the left are 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, and the ones on the right are 1 7/8 by 1 3/4. Now we're going to stamp the front of the card. Now I'm going to glue this piece on, make sure it's the right way round. So that one goes on the right. And this one goes on the left. Now I want to put glue on one side, and I have to be careful that I'm not gluing both sides. Make sure that this side is covered. That's in the middle. And then now I can put this piece on top. Next I want to stamp the penguin, so I'm going to put a magnet on there to keep that together. And the reason I'm using a Stamparatus is because I can stamp over and over again until I get the right intensity of black. Because when you first stamp, it doesn't cover it all, doesn't absorb the ink all that well. That's better. So at least 2 or 3 times. Now I'm going to use the stamp. Can't talk today, my brain's not engaging, it's so hot. I've had to turn the fan off. Real Red Stamping Blends. That's what I was trying to say. Now I'm going to take this stamp and stamp off a couple of times. I've used my Fish Builder Punch template to get the stamps mounted in the correct position. I only want this little fish here, so I'm going to stamp that and align my block with the bottom of the paper and just stamp the fish. Bring in the punch and punch. Now this is really clever. They've designed the fish so it can be either way up. So you can have it this way or this way and it won't matter. So I'm going to have it up this way, swimming toward As you see, the puffin can't believe his luck. He's got a bit of fish. I only want the for you, so I'm just going to ink that up and stamp. I've used a smaller block and the hair is hanging off it, so it's only partially stamped it. And that's the bit I'm going to cut off. I've glued it onto a bit of scrap Orchid Oasis, and I can trim that off. Pop some dimensionals on the back and remove the tape and stick it here. Then I can glue this portion to the front. Then on this second piece, make sure that's straight. I can stamp a little bit there just so that there's somewhere to write the addressee's name on this portion here. Put this piece right in the corner there and bring in the Tuxedo Black Memento ink and stamp. Bring in my Real Red stamping blend. Glue that piece on while we do the next one. So switch plates. Stamp this little penguin looking up. Colour it in. Glue this one in. Switch stamps. Switch ink pads. Colour in the fish. And then the bow. Then the wink of Stella. Glue on the back, glue it to the card. Now the reason I've done it that way is so that I can be sure it's the right size for the right panel. Oh bother, I forgot to record it. I've just stamped the cake in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And now we want to colour it. So the flames are in Mango Melody. And the cake is in yellow. This is the light. Now the candles and the icing are in red. Just ground that. Glue this. Then stamp the party penguin with a party hat. Ink up the party penguin. Colours beacon. Glue it in. Last thing to do is add the sentiment. So I've lined up all my sentiments and stamped it all at once in Orchid Oasis. Then trim this down. So there's all my sentiments done. So I'm just going to put a bit of adhesive on the back and glue them randomly. Voila, the card is finished. That's the front. You open it and you think it's just an ordinary card, but if you push it together and open it this way, you'll find the secret message here, and then pull it out and it's back to the beginning. So I hope you've enjoyed this fancy fold card with their hidden message. All the supplies are listed below this video in the show more section. If you'd like to read more, then hop over to my blog. I'll put a link in the description below this video as well. Thanks for joining me today, and pop back for more inspiration next time. Bye!